David Daoud, Senior Fellow for the Foundation for Defence Democracies. Thank you so much, David, and good evening to you. We just heard there from our colleague Mark Stone about the success from the Israeli point of view with what they have done in Iran there. And also he mentioned an interesting point as well about US President Donald Trump and the lack of what we're hearing from him coming forward. What's the latest that you're hearing?
Thank you for having me on. Well, President Trump has been very supportive of the Israeli strike. Yesterday, he was quoted in media outlets saying that this actually facilitated the success potentially of nuclear talks with Iran. I guess this, in some ways, President Trump is probably viewing this as kind of a stick to his carrots. So he's been very supportive, rhetorically at least. He's viewing this as a positive. At the same time, as your reporters have noted, the United States has not gotten involved directly in this fight. And I don't think it's in Israel's interests for that to happen. Look, it's not just that the Israelis are targeting Iran's nuclear assets or its ballistic missiles program right now. What they're trying to do also is to stake a claim to a future in the region. That their right to exist in the region has been called into question really from May 14th, 1948. And successive powers that have arisen that are much larger than Israel, Egypt in the 1950s, for example, Iran have viewed Israel's size, its vulnerability, as creating a potential for Israel's elimination. Now, what Israel is trying to show is that it can and will defend itself by itself. And I think it's important for the Israelis to do that. It's also important for the United States not to get involved in a fight in the Middle East right now. President Trump came in on a platform of creating world peace. Many of his supporters are opposed to direct American involvement in the region, and it's not necessary. We have a strong ally in the Israelis who are able to confront this threat. Again, it's an existential threat to them, but let's not forget that Iran views us, the United States, as its primary enemy, independent of any relationship we have with Israel or not. They view it as a clash of civilizations. We are promoting an opposing civilization the way they see it, and they view it as in their interest and as part of their national mission to oppose our influence in the region and our influence globally.
All right, and we heard Alastair Bunkle just report before that Iran has a few allies coming to their defence, and we heard a couple of hours ago the Supreme Leader coming forward saying that Israel started the war and they're not going to allow them to escape. We're yet to hear more from that Supreme Leader at this stage, but what do you make of those comments and what are you expecting moving forward?
Well, of course, the Iranian Supreme Leader is going to be speaking very belligerently right now. The Iranians have to save face. They have to look like they have the upper hand. We're also seeing Iranian propaganda outlets right now claiming successes that the Iranians have not actually achieved. They've claimed that they've downed Israeli pilots, that they've downed Israeli jets. This is untrue. They're exaggerating the impact of their strikes in Israel. So a lot of this is going to be happening, and it's true that Iran doesn't have many allies coming to its support. A lot of people were worried that a war between Israel and Iran would drag in much larger powers, namely the Russians and the Chinese, who are on the Iranian side of the ledger. But according to a phone call between Prime Minister Netanyahu and Russian President Vladimir Putin, Putin has actually said that he's willing to act as a mediator to de-escalate between Iran and Israel. So Iran really is alone. Its regional proxies, primarily Hezbollah. And I think this is a critical point to note. Part of the big fear over decades of Israel going to attack these Iranian installations in Iran was that Hezbollah would be kind of the first response, and that they'd amassed an arsenal due to its proximity to Israel that could do unprecedented damage to the Israeli home front. Well, Hezbollah has been decimated. They've issued a statement that basically shows that they're waiting for Iranian orders to see what will happen. So it's not just foreign actors, countries, they're not coming to Iran's aid. Its own proxies, the Houthis, Hezbollah, the Iraqis seem to be sitting this out. Partially because they've been damaged either by Israeli military action, and partially because I think Iran doesn't want this to escalate to a point where the United States gets directly involved. We're already seeing, the French are coming to the support of the Israelis. The Germans are. The United States, obviously. What Iran does not want right now is for the United States to get directly involved, which could pose an existential threat to the regime.
David Daoud, we've got to wrap it up, but thank you so much for your time and expertise. Great to see you.